Hello, welcome back with me Ratna Wulandari, and this video is tell you about prose. You can see in the table of content what I will tell you about. The first is definition, and the second is type. The next is characteristic, and I will give you an example of prose and I will analyze the example. Okay, let's start. The first is, what is prose? Prose is a written equivalent of the spoken language. It is written in words, phrases, sentences, paragraphs, and chapters. It utilizes punctuation, grammar, and vocabulary to develop its message. The type of prose is old prose and modern prose. Old prose is a literary work that has not been influenced by Western culture. Meanwhile, the modern prose is a form of prose that appears after being influenced by foreign or Western cultures. Characteristic of old prose is the story is anonymous or anonym. The second is static in nature, in accordance with the conditions of society at that time, and the last characteristic of old prose is in the form of tales, legends, and fairy tales are brought to the realm of imagination. The type of old prose is tale, fairy tale, and history. And now we move to the next about the characteristic of modern prose. The first is community-centric. Stories are taken from the lives of the surrounding community. The second is influenced by Western literature, and the form of modern prose is romance, short story, and drama. The type of modern prose is novel, romance, short story, and autobiography. I take one of the example of prose is Hansel and Gretel is a fairy tale. Hansel and Gretel is a very famous Brothers Grimm fairy tale. In short, this fairy tells about siblings who love each other, namely Hansel and Gretel. Since his mother died, he has to live with his father and stepmother. Unfortunately, the stepmother was evil to the two poor children. The theme of this story is about the struggle of brothers and sisters to protect themselves from the evil world. They not only face an evil stepmother, but also an old witch who wants to eat them. And when you read this story, you can know the point of view in this story is using third-person point of view because the author tells the characters using the names Hansel and Gretel. Okay, move to the next. About the characteristics of the story, we can see that Hansel is a good big brother and always tries to protect his little sister, even though himself feels scared. Meanwhile, Gretel, a cowardly little girl, she often cries. However, she is also smart because she managed to trick the evil wizard so she could save herself and her brother. And the stepmother is a selfish figure. She didn't want to starve to death, so she had to hurry to throw her two stepchildren into the forest. This story takes place in their house, forest, and house which with the condition is set. This story is using chronicle plot because the first introduction, there was a little family that just lost a mother and they were always sad. And the conflict, their father remarried. Unfortunately, their stepmother was very evil to them. The climax, they are thrown into the woods alone and trapped in the house of a witch. And the ending, they can get out of the wizard's house and can return to their house. And the last is about moral value. What can we learn from this story is to not something bad to others, especially with your family. And the second is be a big brother who always protect his younger sibling like Hansel. And the last is do not eat food that does not belong to you.